The company I chose to research for this project is iHeartMedia. Formerly known as Clear Channel, the company changed its name in September 2014 in order to represent the growing media industry and show its dedication to keeping up with the new digital age. The company is based out of San Antonio, Texas, with Bob Pittman as the chairman and chief executive officer. According to iHeartMedia's official website, the company is an entertainment-focused organization that delivers live radio, talk shows, podcasts, and sports segments through their iHeartRadio app, while also hosting live events such as their iHeartRadio Music Festival and other on-demand entertainment across various platforms such as satellite or smartphone devices. An article by the New York Times estimates that about 275 million people listen to their iHeartRadio service per month in the U.S. It is one of the largest broadcasting stations in the U.S., owning and operating at least 858 individual radio stations. According to Merchant Online, the iHeartMedia company competes with 5 other competitors. The Disney Corporation comes in first, iHeartMedia comes in second, followed by SiriusXM, Urban One Inc., the Spanish Broadcasting System Inc., and lastly NewGen Technologies Inc. The iHeartMedia company's market share is only 8%, while the lead company, the Disney Corporation, makes up 85% of the total market share. However, the number for the Disney Corporation accounts for Disney as a whole and does not look only at their radio and broadcast services, making this an unfair comparison. For a slightly more fair comparison, we could subtract the revenue made by the Disney theme parks, and the market share of iHeartMedia increases to 11%, and the Disney Corporation decreases to 78%. Along with iHeartRadio, the iHeartMedia Corporation spans many other businesses. Some of these other businesses include Premier Networks, Katz Media Group, Total Traffic and Weather Network or TTWN, RCS, Inside Radio, and Critical Mass Media. The iHeartMedia company aims to attract a diverse group of consumers. According to a report in 2017, more than 32 million African Americans and 40 million Hispanics in the U.S. listen to iHeartMedia-run stations. The platform also reaches 34 million women aged 18 to 34. Geographically, most iHeartMedia services are only available to people within the United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Although it provides services similar to other companies, it has managed to differentiate itself with its iHeartRadio application by implementing live radio stations along with streaming services. The 858 radio stations that can be accessed through the iHeartRadio service also help to provide its listeners with many choices. The music streaming industry is growing as new technology is introduced. Some of the major music streaming platforms that iHeartRadio must compete with are Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, and Pandora. Spotify in 2019 has around 248 million listeners. Of that number, 113 million pay for the subscription service. Apple Music has around 60 million paid subscribers in 2019. There is no available data that says how many people pay for the iHeartRadio service. This lack of data makes it hard to compare the streaming platforms accurately. That being said, iHeartRadio still has more listeners or free users than Spotify, and as of 2019, there are roughly 130 million people who use iHeartRadio in some capacity. The revenue for iHeartMedia in 2019, as of June in the second quarter, is $913.2 million. From the digital revenue of iHeartRadio, the company made $91.1 million, a number that increased recently due to the company's new focus on podcasts. Broadcast radio brought in $561.2 million, audio media services were $58.5 million, network revenue from businesses were $156.3 million, and sponsorship and live events brought in $42.4 million. iHeartRadio makes up 16.1% of iHeartMedia's total revenue. In 2018, iHeartMedia Company filed for bankruptcy. This is a result of falling $20 million in debt after the 2008 recession following an acquisition. At the time Chapter 11 was filed, iHeartMedia listed itself as having $20 billion worth of debt with only $12.3 billion worth of assets. However, as of May 2019, the company has emerged from bankruptcy. iHeartMedia emerged from its reorganization with only about $5.75 billion worth of debt, a huge improvement from the former $20 billion. Another result of the Chapter 11 reorganization will be a split between Clear Channel Outdoor and iHeartMedia. Now, both Clear Channel and iHeartMedia will be separate but publicly traded companies in the New York Stock Exchange. Although the debt has become less, the loss of Clear Channel has also decreased the total assets for iHeartMedia in 2019. But by becoming a publicly traded company, iHeartMedia will be able to gain new investors and expand itself. Pittman, the chairman and CEO of the company, said in an interview with Variety that by becoming a publicly traded company, they will be able to provide greater liquidity for existing shareholders, allow them to diversify their investor base, and will help improve access to public capital markets in the future. iHeartRadio specifically has brought in a 2.4% higher revenue during the 2019 second quarter than its last quarter, and digital revenue specifically grew 32.8%. While it is true that the company has less total assets with the breakup of Clear Channel, it has more room to grow and buy more resources to keep the company strong. The buyer concentration in regards to iHeartRadio is very high. Roughly 278 million people subscribed to at least one music streaming service in 2018, an increase from the 198 million in 2017. Given these statistics, we can infer that the number of music subscribers will continue to grow. The company has proven that although streaming services are becoming more popular, radio is not dead, although iHeartRadio does provide a music streaming service. The company is not limiting itself to online media services, and they're still planning live events such as iHeartRadio Alter Ego, iHeartRadio Music Awards, and the iHeart Country Festival.